How do your five senses work?
Well, let's see. Let's name the five senses.
See, sight,
Okay.
smell, taste, touch, and hear.
That's right. Now, there's probably more than that because there's many kinds of touch. There's painful touch and pleasant touch, right? But you've named the other ones very well. So what has to happen? So let's take light, sight. Sight requires light. If there's no light, there's no sight, right? So the light comes in, and what is light? Well, people worked on that a long time, and it turns out light can be thought of as a little package of energy. And it can go in a straight line and very fast, but not infinitely fast. So it might take 8 minutes for a signal to get to the moon. Now, how long does it take to get to the moon? Maybe not 8 minutes, a couple of seconds, but it takes about maybe 8 minutes to get to Mars, maybe longer, 15 minutes for a signal to get to Mars and come back. So light goes that fast. It takes 15 minutes. That's a long time. I mean, it doesn't happen right away. So that means if you're sending a signal to the helicopter flying around Mars now, it has to get those signals. It can't tell you what it's doing right now because it's too far away. It takes 15 minutes for the signals to get back and forth. So light is coming in, and it can be thought of in a couple of ways. But one way to think of it is as a little particle. And when that particle comes into your eye, it hits a cell, and that cell has a chemical that changes shape. It absorbs the light changes the shape of the chemical, and that change sends a little electrical signal, makes a little electrical change on the surface of the cell, which then gets transmitted to another signal, and gets to the brain. So it's called signal transduction. Transduction means you turn light energy into electrical energy that can be sent to the brain. Okay, does that make sense?
If
Oh, wait,
it's
I'm not done. So then your brain is stimulated in a certain part of the brain that's been developed that says, I can recognize this as a particular kind of light that's come into the eye. Same thing happens with touch. You touch something, you change the structure of a receptor that takes the pressure of the touch and changes it into an electrical signal. The same with smell. A chemical hits a receptor, changes it, and that sends an electrical signal to your brain. The same with taste. Okay? All these are changes that come in from the outside that change a structure inside a cell that turns that into an electrical signal that can go through your nerves to different parts of your brain to interpret it as a light, a sound, same in the sound. The sound, you have little hair cells in your ear that when the air moves it, makes it wave a little bit. And it's also tuned. So a high pitch makes little they're called cilia, a little antenna waver. A low sound makes another one waver. And it turns it into a certain kind of an electrical signal that goes to your brain. So all of our senses are dependent on what's called signal transduction. The signal comes in, disturbs the structure of a molecule, that turns it into an electrical signal that sends it to your brain and says, what do you think of this?
if they are sent to so many senses, if it's sent to so many signals, then why do we see things when they happen? Is it really fast?
It's very fast, but it's not infinitely fast. So there's a reaction time. You don't see it instantly. You're actually seeing it happen several microseconds before. So when you hear me talk, you're not actually hearing it in real time. You think you are because the delay is so short. When you're seeing things, you think you're seeing it in real time, but you're actually not. The delay is so short. It takes a little bit of time. Now, in really big animals, let's take a dinosaur. It might take a time that you would recognize between you touch the tail and it gets to the brain because it's such a long distance. So it's not instantaneous. And for example, in some people, it works better than others. I knew a guy when I was a kid, not a kid, when I was about 21, 22, who was a world's champion quick draw artist. You know what a quick draw is? How fast you can pull your gun and shoot somebody or something. And the way they do that is they have a signal, a light goes off, and there's a target, and they measure the time between the light going off and the bullet hitting the target. He was better than anybody in the world at that. Bang! Okay. And he looked like an ordinary guy, but he could do it maybe a lot faster than I could do it. So if I was in a gunfight with him, who would win? He would win. That's why I had to sneak up and shoot him from the back, which is, by the way, how most gunfights were fought. They didn't actually stand in front of each other and shoot. They actually were more sneaky, which makes sense. You want to sneak up on somebody who could be quicker than you.